Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So hello, everyone. And we're so appreciative that every year John is a great supporter, and Forest CNC is waiting room is asking me to admit people. Okay. And every year we're so appreciative that John has sponsored a challenge, and I think this year's of the mobile hand washing station, as he mentioned, was really near and dear to our hearts because of my being in New Mexico and him being in Arizona. When you live on the East Coast, as I did for many years, and as John did, you're just not aware of the difference in life out on the reservations and with the Native American communities. And so I think it was really an important project for us to work on. And I'm really hoping that we can see some of those actually put into use in real life settings. So as part of today, we'd like to have John be able to tell us more about his machines. I have a Forest CNC machine that we use quite a lot. We have a digital badge program for building sets and props for the film industry, and it has been just a workhorse for us. And want to thank John for being here today, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, I'm not sure what to do.
Do you have slides?
I do. So I'm looking
if you go down to, if you take your cursor and go down to the bottom,
okay.
On the left it says mute, stop video, and in the center there's one that says share screen.
Okay.
Can you share your screen, and then we'll be able to see your slides?
Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
Just share the whole screen so that I can pop things up. Right now it's looking like it's limiting me to one program or another. Let's see.
I think that's a function of Zoom. I don't know. I mean, I think that if you on your laptop or your computer, I mean, if you whatever you have up there will show.
Okay.
So if you have like two programs open side by side, it will show us that. But if that's the only thing I could suggest. I use a couple of different programs and I always get them confused.
It's still only wanting me to show one program at a time. So I just thought I'd start off with leaving my contact information in case anyone has any questions. I try to be as available as possible. Occasionally I travel in such a place that I don't have a signal, but most of the time you can reach me through my cell phone, which is probably the very best way of reaching me by text or by telephone. I wanted to show several things. It's a short period of time. One of the things I like about being at the actual conferences is if I do a presentation, usually it's very educational and maybe it's talking about tooling or how to manufacture a part, and that's what I really like doing the most. But the rest of the day I can show equipment and let people know what we actually make, because many people aren't that familiar with us. Where we have been very strong in the educational market throughout the United States, a lot of people in the rest of the world don't really know what we have to offer. So I just wanted to let people know more about that. I want to show I have several videos that are lined up that I'm going to just do parts of them. We have a newer product line called the CRP, and this picture doesn't give it as good of justice as I would like to get. I don't know if it's showing up on the screen right now. Let's see.
Your contact slide's still showing.
Okay, let me see how to switch it. Maybe new share. Share screen. Okay, looks like I have to go through one at a time to do it. So this is the CRP. It's built very much like a laser engraver, and except it's using plasma technology. And one of the challenges for fab labs and engineering labs and universities is the ability to cut metal. Metal can be cut with a router, but it's not necessarily the best machine for that job. And lasers that are capable of cutting steel and aluminum, if you can actually cut through, say, 1/2-inch steel, you're probably looking at a $300,000 machine. If you're looking at a water jet technology, yes, there are some very inexpensive ones, but they really don't cut through much more than aluminum foil, just like most of the fiber lasers that are under $100,000. Where with this machine, you can cut laser-like quality below 1/4 inch thick and comparable to slightly less than laser quality, actually up to 7/8 thick if you start on an edge. And so I wanted to do a demo of this machine. And let me create a new share to show that. Let's see, how do I, still learning to manage this Zoom. Oops, wrong one, let's see here. Okay, so I had to open it up first. Some of these videos aren't the very best, but what I'm going to do to make it easier, and because there is also educational content within these videos that I'm going to be skipping, I'm going to get all these posted up on YouTube and then create links to them through the through our Facebook page. Hopefully you can still hear me even though I'm fumbling through these video screens. Here we go. So this appearances are reflected in the glass. It has a short glass with a
This is the CRP by Forest Scientific. And as we see, I open the door, no smoke comes out. May still be a little hot from the cutting process. And here's the quality of the finished part. I started the cuts on each piece. Some of the places you can see where I started it, some places you can't. And on the bottom, again, very clean. You can basically see where I started cuts. and but barely, and those will knock off extremely easily. If I just take this little piece, it's right here where the initial cut was on the L. Just take my fingernail, and it's gone. Just a little bit of discoloration there. There we go. Nice clean cuts. And if we did a lead in instead of starting right on the letter, then that mark wouldn't even be there.
John, the video is really loud, and so I don't know if you have a way to turn that down if you're going to show more videos, but we couldn't hear anything at the beginning. Starting about halfway, we could hear your narration, but at the very beginning, we couldn't hear anything.
Okay. I think at the beginning, it was just the sound of the actual cutting. So
Okay.
Anyway, plasma is something that's relatively new in the Fab Lab and even in maker spaces. There are very few that actually have it. So I wanted to really highlight that. Let me begin a new share. The other thing that I am going to offer for Fab Labs for the next, I would say the rest of this year, I will offer a $10,000 grant towards the purchase of any of the CRP model. So, you know, if it's a $50,000 machine, I would make it $40,000 and so forth. There are different sizes and price ranges, but for the Fab community, I will offer a personal $10,000 grant towards that purchase of each of those models to help get them into more labs. I'm going to show a little bit more about plasma. I'm bringing up another video. Let's see if I can
I'm John.
turn off the video audio and see if that works better. And then let's see, I got to create a new share. Here we go. And again, I'll have 3 different ones that I will post to our Facebook page, and it'll have all of the content, including the educational content. Let's see, the beginning here, I'll just let it play for a second. Trying to do this fairly quick, but yet, okay, come on. So you can see some samples of things cut. This particular video is showing, see, it doesn't, okay, it's showing our automatic Torchite systems. So all of our plasma systems can automatically compensate for the height of the material. Now, normally in the cutting process, there would not be that much of variance. However, as you're cutting metal, it heats up, it tends to go up and down. And if the torch hits the metal, you'll have a reduced consumable life. And there's an electrode that could get hit, or a tip that could get hit. And by it being able to automatically sense the height and compensate for that height, it's able to cut some very extreme shapes and sizes very easily, as you can see here. We have all different types and styles of plasma systems. This one is a very unique machine to Forest Scientific. It's called the Converta table, and it's both a plasma cutter and a router. It's great in a situation where you have little space, but want both types of machines. And we especially sell these in Alaska and other hard to reach places because of the shipping costs of getting them there. This is the Fabot version of the CNC plasma cutter. It's a lower cost model. However, it has very advanced features that often you won't find on a machine under $50,000, and they're around $10,000. All of our other models, that one doesn't have what's called a water cable. All of our other models have a water cable system so that it catches the majority of the soot and so forth that's coming off of the cutting process. And so this is the Titan, which has an aluminum frame. Then there's the Maker series, which is an all welded steel frame. And then the HS plasma, which is the upper end, We have higher end models, but the majority of schools and fab labs are usually working from the AHS down. And due to the much lower cost, the Fabot series has become extremely popular. And they range from a very small tabletop machine to 5x10 size machines. Some of the differences of Forest Scientific is we are one of the oldest CNC companies that's serving these markets. Been in business actually for more than 31 years. Our machines come fully assembled, which I hate to say how many times I go into a lab and I find machines that are still sitting in their boxes because nobody figured out how to assemble them. We provide on-site training so that way you have success from day one. A lot of times people have to work on things, and over a series of months and years, they are finally able to cut out parts, where our customers are renting parts from the first day. Often we retrofit older brands, other machines brands, to repair them and bring them up to current technologies. And often in our first day of training, they'll say that they cut more in that one day than they did the previous 10, 15 years that they owned that equipment. And then we have a 3-year on-site parts and labor warranty, which is very unheard of in the CNC world. Most companies will talk to you on the phone, but that's about it. Okay, our machines were on Mythbusters, which is really a neat privilege, both our routers and plasma cutters. The design process is really simple. I'm going to go ahead and let this video play, and I'll just narrate a little bit. I know we're running out of time. So again, we'll create a link on Facebook, and so that way you can see the whole video if you have more interest, or call me at any time or text me on my cell phone, and I'll be glad to call back. For anyone in an international market to save on long distance, just text me and I'll call you back. So it'll be on my phone.
And John, we will have a few minutes for questions if people have questions.
Yes. We have what, 5 more minutes, or are we less than that?
We have about 5 more minutes.
Okay. So you can very easily go in, just tell it the thickness of your metal, and then it creates the tool path to be able to cut it out. So again, I'll have these complete videos posted because you really can see the entire process. And like here, this particular process is actually going from a Google image to a finished part, and it's really a matter of a couple of minutes. And so you can go into Google, you can edit out the pictures. Another really strong area that we're working with commercially is the HVAC industry. And we have the software that you can design almost any part. There's a major library of almost every part that is made for heating and air conditioning. And you can click on it, size it, and make it exactly what size you want. And in this video, it goes through and shows the process of the parts being cut out, and then they're also being assembled. And this is at McCann Institute in Western Massachusetts. And they have an incredible HVAC program. And you can actually, within the rest of this video, not only see the parts being cut out with the CNC, but the complete assembly process and the machines that are used for that particular application. That's one area that there is, in the United States, there is a huge shortage of employees, and people that get into that industry will always be employed. There is always a huge shortage, and there's always going to be a need for heating and air conditioning everywhere. So this is a huge skill to learn, and with the software, the precision of the parts are significantly better. So let's go ahead and open up to questions. Like I said, I'll post these so you'll be able to see them afterwards.
Someone had a question in the chat of which machines the grant applied to.
The grant applies to all of the CRP models. So I'm having, well, it'll probably take me longer to pull it up, but the CRP models, if you were to, let me see if I can create a new share. Share, here we go, click. if you go to this website right here, forestscientific/inquiry, you can download our catalog, and the CRP models are on the very back page, on the back cover of the catalog, so the last page. So you can see each of those. Throughout the catalog, you also see other lower costing units. The CRP is a higher end, more expensive unit, but it's because of that laser-like quality that it really does offer. And the lower costing units, they can range anywhere from 10,000 on up. With the grant, they would start, the CRP units would start at around 30,000 and go up from there.
Great, great. Any other questions while we are together? The plasma cutter is a very cool machine, and really opens up our possibilities of the kinds of things that we can do. And as a laser person, I know that photons are much more expensive, and producing photons is not a cheap thing. So that's really a great alternative to some of the bigger laser cutters, particularly for metal. Okay.
And our bread and butter business, well, actually, at one time we started making plasmas in around 92, and they have grown to where they were just a very small percentage of our sales versus routers. And now it's about 50-50, and some months there are actually more plasma sales than routers. So we make many hundreds of machines a year. And also we have moved, wanted to pull up a picture, but it was in an Adobe format, and I can pull up Adobe and it disappears in like 10 seconds. So I can't really show it. By the time I share it, it'll be gone. We've moved into a new 67,000 square foot factory in northwestern Pennsylvania. And from this factory, we build all of our machines in-house. Most of our components are made in the US, so we do have some Italian components, some Japanese components, some are Chinese, but you know, the vast majority are actually sourced and made in the US. Even like THK bearings, even though they're a Japanese company, they actually make them in Ohio, just a matter of hours from us. So it gives us some huge advantages to be able to make them there. We are within 75% of the US population where we're located is within a 10-hour drive of 75% of the US population, and about 85% of the Canadian population. Had we been able to be in Montreal today, it's you know, about an 8-hour drive, really a great place to be, and we're looking forward to being there next year.
Yes, it will be fun to be in Montreal for all of us who are French speakers, especially we get to practice. Well, unless there's another quick question, thank you so much, John. And again, we will be sure that people know when the recording of this is available. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe.
Yes.